Hello everyone! So, I got an idea from one of you to continue from the last KuguInuShiba video with the electricity, and this was born. So, I want to give you some fluff before the September rolls over. I seriously hope I manage to write what I have in mind, because goddamn I'm looking forward to that. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons, you are keeping this channel going. Groaning through his clenched teeth, Kugure dropped the pen from his fingers, shaking them in a vain attempt to stop the cramping clenching his muscles. He frowned when he noticed it was the two fingers, his pointer and middle one, spasming once again, just as they did for the last 2 days. It was annoying, preventing him from doing his work properly, and slightly worrying. He waved off Shibayama's concerns about possible effects of getting hit by electricity before, but the more his fingers hurt, the more worried he was. Maybe I really should go to a doctor, if only to know what's wrong. Yuki and So will be worried though. He sighed and tried to grab the pen again, cursing his habit to write everything on paper first when his fingers cramped once again, the pain shooting through his whole hand. What's wrong? Kugure startled, the pen clattering over the table. Inoka quickly caught it before it could drop on the floor, handing it back to Kugure with a soft smile, which however couldn't mask the concerned creases on his forehead. Sorry, I should have not done something, I know. No, it's fine. I just forgot to have a free day today. Really? I'm hurt. Kugure's heart skipped a beat, and not in a good way. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. It slipped my mind, I swear. I wouldn't forget otherwise, The rest of his blubbered sentence turned into confused stuttering when Inuoka hugged him, squeezing him tight to his chest. Hey, shh. No need to panic so much. I was just teasing you. I would never blame you for forgetting something like that, especially when you have so much on your mind. His eyes fluttering close, Kugure leaned more into Inuoka after a short moment of hesitation, feeling his anxiety melting away. Right. Inuoka didn't have it in him to be resentful because of little things. Though if forgetting his own boyfriend was home counted as a little thing, Kugure wasn't sure. But Inuoka seemed to think so, and he was happily going to take his word for it. So never hid anything from him, least of all his feelings. It was one of the reasons Kugure loved being around him, and wrapped in his embrace. Sorry. Nah, stop apologizing. He suddenly became serious. Rather tell me what that was about. You looked in discomfort. Kugure sighed. He should have known Inuoka would catch a wind of something being different. He had an incredible talent for that. Maybe that's why he's so good with kids. It's nothing serious, really. My fingers just hurt a bit. A bit, as in dropping the pen because you can't hold it through the pain bit? Kugure froze, the feeling of getting busted kicking his mind into overdrive to try to find some excuse, some merciful lie that would erase the worried undertone in his boyfriend's voice. But there was nothing. His shoulders slumped, the gentle touch on his back sending shivers through his skin. How long have you been watching me? Inuoka pulled away a bit, running his fingers through Kugure's hair before settling his palm against his cheek. Long enough to know you are hurting. What is it? Sighing again, Kugure tried to move with the fingers, realizing they had a much more limited range of movement now. He probably made it worse over the 2 days and now had no way of hiding it, and the last thing he wanted was to lie to his boyfriend. I don't know. It's my fingers, the one that got hit when I cooked. They hurt. I don't know why. He could tell Inuoka was doing his best to hide just how that thing worried him, but the way his grip on his shoulders tightened told him everything. You mean the hand that got hit with electricity? Yeah. And you didn't think it was important to tell us that? I didn't want to worry you. Inuoka clicked his tongue, and Kuguri instinctively cowered a bit. He was aware both Yuki and So asked him to be as open as possible, promising to always listen to him, but it wasn't that easy. He heard that before already, and it never happened. And even though he knew his current boyfriends were different, better than he could ever imagine, old habits died slowly. Sorry. He didn't hear any change in his voice, but Inuoka apparently did. He brought Kuguri back into his embrace, gently stroking his hair. Okay, well, now that we know what's wrong, we can do something about it, right? Let's get Yuki and... Wait, no. Please. Huh? Let Yuki rest. Don't disturb him with this, was what he meant by it. Inuoka understood. Alright, but you know he will freak out anyway when we get back, right? Kuguri knew, but the longer they kept Shibayama at peace, the better. Shibayama was already feeling guilty for chasing him away, even though he didn't mean it like that, when he could be potentially injured. A light tap on his shoulder returned him back into reality. Let's go then before he wakes up. But we should leave him a note so he doesn't freak out even before that when he doesn't find us here. Where? Inuoka quickly scribbled a short note letting Shibayama know where they were and why in case he woke up before their return, and then motioned for Kuguri to follow him. The wait in the hospital was an arduous one. On Inuoka's insistence, Kuguri kept his hand laid on his thigh as unmoving as possible to not further the damage. Even then, however, he could see the little trembles running through his muscles and the occasional cramp bending his fingers against his will. Every time that happened, Inuoka was quick to cover his hand with his, rubbing warmth into his skin, momentarily relieving the pain. And Kuguri couldn't be more grateful for Inuoka's miraculous touch. No wonder the kids love him so much. And Yuki. And me too. His shoulders fell. He wished he could say that out loud as freely as Inuoka always did. Even Yuki, who compared to him was much more reserved, could say those 3 words without issue. So why couldn't he when his heart hadn't said anything else for the past half a year? Who knows how long they will be content like this. With this. He flinched when Inuoka nudged his side. Come on, we are next. Oh, right. If only he was different. Perhaps then he wouldn't be just a burden. His hand wrapped tightly in a clean gauze, Kuguri let out a somewhat relieved breath. Now that his fingers were no longer spasming, the pain eased to a barely noticeable tingling under his skin. The doctor still forbade him from doing anything manually difficult with his hand, especially writing. It was going to set him back, but considering the warning look Inuoka gave him when he wanted to protest, he was going to have to make it work somehow. Everything okay? He glanced up. Inuoka was still focused on the road ahead, but Kuguri had no doubt that he wouldn't miss a single sign of discomfort from him. He readjusted the heating pad and nodded. Yeah, all's good. Hurts much less now. Okay, good. I was really worried for a while there. Doctors sure know how to cause a mini heart attack, eh? Kuguri would gladly chuckle, but there wasn't a grain of lies in Inuoka's words. He too got scared for a second when the doctor started talking about the possible injuries from an electric shock. Fortunately, he was, once again, a lucky one and got away with just some light cramps instead of burns or heart failure. Yeah. Sorry for worrying you again. Huh? Oh no, don't apologize for that. It wasn't your fault. You couldn't know that plug was faulty. He smiled, the sheer warmth radiating from it melting Kuguri's heart. Besides, that's what boyfriends are for, right? Biting hard on his lip, Kuguri turned his head away to face out of the window, hoping Inuoka wouldn't notice the effect those few words had on him. Boyfriend. It still felt a bit unreal to be able to call Yuki and so that. And for some reason, the two loveliest people he had ever met were calling him their boyfriend back. For now, at least. He didn't notice he was once again clenching his hand until sharp pain shot into his wrist. Inuoka was fast to react despite the fact Kuguri didn't let out a single sound, and covered his hand, the gentle touch of his fingers making Kuguri loosen his grip. Careful, don't hurt yourself. That's what boyfriends are for. Chewing away all the doubtful thoughts, Kuguri turned his hand palm up, letting Inuoka's fingers slide in between his. The smile that appeared on Inuoka's face was nowhere near the brightest he had seen, but so soft and warm it melted all the remaining ice from around his heart, allowing him to breathe a bit more freely again. He could do this. He could show his boyfriends he loved them. The peaceful silence was suddenly interrupted by a loud ringing of Inuoka's phone. Ah, Yuki's awake. Reluctantly, Kuguri let go of Inuoka's hand and reached for the phone, sure enough finding Shibayama's number on the screen. What do you mean you went to hospital and didn't let me know except that one note? We didn't want to wake you up for nothing. Now? Oh, thank goodness. What do you mean for nothing? Since when does one go to hospital for nothing? Are you alright? Don't you dare to keep it a secret if not. I'll find it out. So can't keep a secret to save his life. A small smile curled Kuguri's lips. I'm fine, I promise. We'll tell you when we come home. Shibayama sighed. Alright. Drive carefully, okay? Of course. Unsurprisingly, Shibayama was waiting for them already. He didn't let Kuguri even take off his shoes before he wrapped him in a tight embrace, very much mirroring the situation from 2 days ago. I'm mad right now, just so you know. Oh come on, let us breathe for a second, we just arrived. You, be quiet. I'm mad at you too for not letting me know. Kuguri, encouraged by his earlier success, returned the embrace, though his mind didn't allow him to squeeze too tight. Sorry. Don't be sorry, and rather promise me you will tell me when something is wrong the next time. He pulled away a bit, his eyes darting over Kuguri as if trying to scan him. What's going on? Kuguri raised his bandaged hand, trying to not move his fingers too much. I got some pain relievers and I'm supposed to do some exercise to ease the spasms. Spasms? Wait, that's the hand you got shocked into, right? He pressed his lips into a thin line, and Kuguri yelped when he got his shoulder smacked. Ow? Yeah, ow! Didn't I tell you it might be more serious than you think? And look at it now. You had to have it bandaged and get pain medication. He stabbed his finger into Kuguri's chest. Next time, you'll listen to me, okay? But... promise me. Kuguri nodded and let himself get pulled back into the embrace, instinctively snuggling a bit closer. I promise. Good. Don't neglect your health, okay? We'll help you if something isn't right. You don't have to hesitate to ask. Kuguri's throat tightened. He squeezed his eyes shut, trying his hardest to contain the surge of emotions swelling in his chest. Fortunately, he didn't have to fight for long as Inuoka threw his arms around both of them, locking them in his usual bear hug. Right, so don't be afraid to tell us things. We are here for you, right? Damn right. Kuguri could really about cry. I know. Thank you. For nothing. Now show me the exercise. We'll apparently have to keep an eye on you. Hey, that's my task. Shibayama rolled his eyes, but let Inuoka lead the way to the living room. And while Kuguri was sure he could work with his hand alone, the moment Inuoka started to gently work on his fingers with a surprising amount of experience, he couldn't find a single word of protest anymore. Under Shibayama's watchful gaze, they went over the simple stretching exercise, the soothing effect much amplified by Inuoka's warm touch. In a weak moment, Kuguri looked up, his heart skipping a beat upon seeing the focused look in his boyfriend's eyes. Focused on taking care of him, on getting him rid of pain. Maybe there was a chance after all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm still preparing one more Polyship video, and after that I will hopefully get back to the last part of the last challenge. I know I should finally finish it, but I just don't have ideas. Sorry about that. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.